Hello ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of action happening here at Imagine, Automation Anywhere's premier flagship event on robotic process automation here in Bengaluru. Amidst all this action, we've been able to steal Mr. Mihir Shukla, co-founder and CEO of Automation Anywhere, for a brief chat with us. Thank you so much, Mihir, for joining in.
Thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here.
To start off with, let me congratulate you on raising such a huge round of funding for the company, Mihir.
Thank you. I think we reached a point, I think the industry reached an inflection point where we felt that we could raise some money and accelerate our journey. At our size and scale, it turned out to be one of the largest round ever raised as a first round of. But I think what is important for our customers and partners is that we are deploying this capital to do a global expansion, invest heavily in our R&D. And our customers and partners should know that any resources we will need, we will have them.
Extension of this question, Mihir, where do you see the RPA industry moving in general and Automation Anywhere in particular over the next 3 years?
I think most of us or many of us now hear about RPA market growing very fast, and every analyst tends to be more conservative in nature. But even they are increasing the size of the market. In last year, virtually all of them have increased their estimate. So the market is growing rapidly. But what is happening is the future of RPA is a digital worker or a digital workforce. And that is where cognitive RPA and analytics comes together. That market is significantly larger than just RPA alone. And so while we are watching the RPA market grow this fast, I think the bigger one emerging on the shadow of RPA, and it is many times larger, is the digital workforce and digital worker. We are very glad that today we are the only one who offers we are the largest RPA player, but we are the only true digital workforce provider today in the market.
So Mihir, how do you feel this ecosystem of partners, developers, enterprises and product vendors, all of them can come together to form one seamless bot economy?
That's an excellent question, and I think we recently launched a store called Bot Store. The idea behind Bot Store is exactly what you mentioned about how do we stimulate a bot economy. Every economy needs a marketplace, and that's what Bot Store is. Like an app store, you can like the way you download apps from an app store, you can download predefined bots from the Bot Store. We launched it a few months ago with about 100 pre-made bots, and just in few months we now have hundreds of bots from about 60 different countries in virtually every industry. So it has been submitted by a vast amount of our partners, developers, and there are large enterprises who have developed these bots, and they want to share with everybody because it is so compelling. So now that is the one part I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but the large enterprises also are willing to contribute to this bot economy. I think when the best ideas come together and compete, the end result is customers win. Sure. And that's the idea.
I saw your presentation yesterday, a very, very amazing presentation you gave me here. And you also talked about how India has the potential of becoming the automation capital in the world. Why do you say so? Can you please throw some light on this?
I think if you take a look at it, the macroeconomics conditions and the expertise of country, and I'll use an example of China here just to compare. About 10% of goods were manufactured in China when it was all manual. When automation came, China did not say that they are best at manual manufacturing. They adopted automation, and now by some count 60% of goods are manufactured in China. Right? Let's say that, and we have seen how that movie played out. If you take a look at India, about 15% of business processes are executed in India. Many of them historically manually. Do you see the analogy here? If India adopts the automation, there is no reason why 40 to 60% of world's business process transaction cannot happen here. What India has to offer is they already have this large population who understands business processes. That business has been running for many years. There is technical talent available for automation, and there is a population available that you can deploy to deploy 2,000 developers, right? The combination of these three things are a key ingredients for capturing this market. But leaders will have to take a lead for that. I mean, one thing about any technology is that it's a democratizing force, and anybody can do it anywhere. That's true for all technologies. But if India leaders and the business and government leaders take advantage of this opportunity, I think it's a unique opportunity. It doesn't come every decade. I think it comes every few decades to lead world in certain categories.
Finally, Mihir, how has the event been for you, Imagine?
It's been exciting event for us. As you know, over 3,000 people joined in the overall 3 days. The first day we had bot games where many people competed for the prize of a best bot. It is incredible to see the creativity of developers everywhere, right? And these mind-blowing ideas come together, and it is refreshing when you see that happen. In the last 2 days, we have over 100 different customers. I've heard stories from 100 different customers. These are some of the best-known brands in the world. It is rewarding to hear their journey. I often remind people that our software is intelligent, smart, written well, but at the end of the day, it's a million lines of codes. That's not as interesting. What is interesting is customer stories, right? That's what makes it so interesting. So it was delightful to hear so many great stories, and I think it's useful for people who haven't started the journey to hear this 100+ stories. They speak better about what we do than we can.
Any message that you would like to give to technology leaders in enterprises?
We have to think of this category very differently. I think we are used to thinking of software categories as large as many of them have been. But this is different than software. And what I mean by that is this is digital labor. And digital labor is everywhere. Sometimes it's 33% of country's GDP. That's not software. That's digital labor, right? And at that size and scale, the world will transform next 10 years because everybody will go for better efficiencies, better throughput, reduce errors. These are all right benefits. So the leaders must, if they haven't started the journey, they must start the journey. And if they are on the journey, I think they have to scale and transform, because in the next 5 years, this is happening all over the world.
Thank you so much, Mihir.
My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Mihir Shukla,